guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the stuff that I typically record and post because I'm doing a book tag. None of the book tags on booktube really interest me outside of this book tag because I have this whole thing where I feel like books enter your life at precisely the right moment. If you read based on your interests and based on what you're in the mood to read, you'll find that so many of the books that you just so happen to pick up align perfectly with your life and whatever you're experiencing at the time. And I just love seeing videos where it's like capturing the essence of that thought. And I feel like this would be that for me. I'm sure I haven't read all of the books that I'm gonna love this year yet. This is just like a little time capsule for me and just for me to document what I've read and when I read it, how it's aligned in my life. Anyway, I'm already yapping and we haven't even talked about books yet. Look at my new addition. I bought this crochet plant from some random plant store and she's precious. So let's come up with names for the plant. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting off with a bang and the most important question. Best book that you've read this year. And this is kind of interesting because this book was the very first book that I read this year, and after 6 months of reading, still nothing has topped it. Orbital by Samantha Harvey. 2024 Booker Prize winner. It's a very, very short and small book, but it packs such a punch. It's so good. This is a book following the 6 cosmonauts and astronauts, men and women from multiple different nations that are all going on this last space exploration trip together. One last orbit around the Earth before the dismantling of their program. About 98% of the book actually takes place in space and is so much about life on Earth and so much about creation and everything that comes with it, consciousness and everything that comes with it. Some of my favorite things to talk about. I could yap all day about consciousness. I could yap all day about creation. And I think what stuck out to me most within this book was the notes on religion and how belief and non-belief kind of stem from the same place, and how almost all thoughts come from this one something that we can't even really put a word to. Maybe the word is creation, maybe the word is consciousness, but all thoughts come from this one space. And Samantha Harvey kind of writes that by writing it in this kind of mixed consciousness way. It's similar to the way The Waves by Virginia Woolf has the collective consciousness written. That's kind of how this book is written. It's not very complex and not very complicated or confusing when you're actually reading the book. It's really easy to understand. But anyway, that's what stood out most to me. I made a whole video, essay video, analysis, book review video on this book. So go watch it because I'm sure I'm not doing as good of a job now as I did then right after reading the book, talking about this book and describing it. Go watch that as well if you want to really understand what all I'm trying to say here. It was just such a beautiful book. One thing about me, I deeply appreciate and love lyrical prose. I love books in which authors are going on and on and on with description, lush feeling, and like passion. Like, I love the stream of consciousness writing. That's part of why I'm obsessed with Virginia Woolf, is because so much of her writing is literally her yapping. It's literally her yapping. And it's so much description and it's so much like juicy detail. I love that within books. And this book has so much of that. I'm actually just going to let the book speak for itself and read to you a couple of my favorite quotes because it's undescribable, honestly. This is literally my favorite quote in the book, which you can tell because Nell wants sometimes to ask Sean how it is he can be an astronaut and believe in God, a creationist God that is, but she knows what his answer will be. He will ask how it is she can be an astronaut and not believe in God. They draw a blank. She points out of the port and starboard windows where the darkness is endless and ferocious, where solar systems and galaxies are violently scattered, where the field view is so deep and multidimensional that the warp of space-time is something you can almost see. Look, she'd say, what made that but some heedless, hurling, beautiful force? And Sean will point out the port and starboard windows where the darkness is endless and ferocious, at exactly the same violently scattered solar system and galaxies, and at the same deep and multi-dimensional field view warped with space-time. And he would say, what made that but some heat full hurling beautiful force? Is that all the difference there is between their views then? A bit of heed? Is Sean's universe just the same as hers but made with care to a design? Hers an occurrence of nature and his an artwork? The difference seems both trivial and insurmountable. She remembers walking around a wood with her father one winter's day when she was 9 or 10, and there was a full-size tree that they almost walked straight past until they realized it was man-made. It was a sculpture made from the tens of thousands of sticks glued together, woven to form the appearance of knots in bark, in bowls, in branches. You couldn't tell it apart from the other bare wintry trees, except that once you knew it was an artwork, it pulsed with a different energy, a different atmosphere. This feels to her what separates her universe and Sean's. A tree made by the hand of nature and a tree made by the hand of an artist. It's barely any difference at all, and the profoundest difference in the world. And the whole book is written like that. So detailed. This book just felt like comforting in the sense that everything is that deep. And then also, as somebody studying nature, the environment, plant science, the way this book kind of covers the eco-politics, environmental injustice, that you can view, like you can view Earth changing from climate change from space. Talking about politics, it says, instead they come to see that it's not a pantomime, or it's not just that. It's a force so great that it has shaped every single thing on the surface of the earth that they had thought from here so human-proof. Every swirling neon or red algal bloom in the polluted, warming, overfished Atlantic is crafted in large part by the hand of politics and human choices. The hand of politics is so visible from their vantage point that they don't know how they could have missed it at first. It's utterly manifest in every detail of the view, just as the sculpting force of gravity has made the sphere of the planet and pushed and pulled the tides which shape the coast, so has politics sculpted and shaped and left evidence of itself everywhere. Like, what do I do or say after reading that? I'm going to give you one more example. I swear I'm not going to read this whole book to you. It's getting out of hand. Before long, for all of them, a desire takes hold. It's the desire, no, the need fueled by forever to protect this huge yet tiny earth. This thing of such miraculous and bizarre loveliness, this thing that is, given the pure choice of alternatives, so unmistakably home, an unbounded place, a suspended jewel so shockingly bright. This is just such a good book. As a earth lover, as a nature lover, as someone that loves creation and creatives and creativity as a whole, this book just did something for me. First book I read this year, and as of June 30th, it is my favorite book of the year. Then we have best sequel that you've read so far. Y'all knew it was coming. I feel like I talk about this woman in every single one of my videos, and I have no shame in that. I'm not ashamed to admit that I talk about this woman to no end. Captured by Beverly Jenkins. This is, I believe, the third book, the third installment to the LeVex family series. One of the other books in the series is Rebel, another book that I read this year or last year. Where do I start with this book? It is following a pirate named Dominic and an enslaved woman named Claire. Let me get into Dominic first. Dominic is a pirate, like I said. He is half black, half white. His dad was a white man. His dad is the person that taught him how to sail and whatnot. I couldn't really gauge whether or not his dad was actually a good man. I think so. But you know, what year is this taking place? It's the 1700s. Not gonna lie, I doubt it. No shade though. No shade. I doubt it though. He is obviously a pirate, so he's looting and he's making his money by basically stealing from people. But Dominic also basically makes it his mission to take down slavers. Huge ships with enslaved cargo. Reading about characters that were crash outs during the Atlantic slave trade, I'm gonna eat it up, baby. I'm gonna eat it up. If you like The Ballad of Jacques Delay, yeah. Basically, by doing that, he ends up finding Claire, who is an enslaved woman. She ends up joining his crew. Claire has 2 kids back at home. that are also enslaved. And y'all know how Beverly Jenkins writes her characters and writes her men specifically. They meet the main character and they're like, let me lock in. So Dominic meets Claire. He's like, yeah, this gonna be my wife. So basically he starts to scheme how he's going to go back to Savannah and find Claire's children, free her and her children, so that they can come live with him on the island of Cuba. As somebody that loves Caribbean literature, that loves as a whole every single landmass in Latin America, and is deeply obsessed with pirates, I ate this book up. It's so rich in history. Beverly Jenkins does such a good job writing love within struggle, but not struggle love, if you understand what I mean by that. Her characters are not struggling to love each other. That's the difference between going through a struggle and loving someone and struggle love. Struggle love is you're struggling to love them. Hate that vibe. I never want to read a book like that ever. But I do enjoy books in which you're going through a struggle. The struggle in this case, obviously slavery. Beverly Jenkins does such a good job writing love within tragedy and like just the most like vile situations in terms of society, not in terms of the couple themselves. And I love that, because to think that like you're gonna fall in love and life is gonna be all sunshines and rainbows and flowers and everything else is kind of crazy, because it doesn't really work that way. And if you only attach the idea of love to hopeful situations, you'll never really give it a true chance, because you're going to be waiting for the perfect circumstances surrounding your life to fall in love. Like, you get what I mean? Like, you're not going to allow yourself to just love someone because you're waiting for life to be okay. And sometimes life is just never okay. I absolutely love her books, and she just writes so well. Her pacing is so good. Her descriptions are so good. The history is so good. The characters are fully developed. And the story is just so rich. The descriptions are so rich. I could imagine everything that she's writing so well because of the way that she describes it. I love this book. Next question is new releases that you haven't read yet but want to. I have two books for this one. Obviously, I don't have much to say about these because I haven't read them yet. Sing Like Fish by Marana Kingdom. How Sound Rules Life Underwater. I'm so excited to read this book because acoustic ecosystems and like communicating by sound waves and communicating by sound instead of language really interests me. It really interests me, and I just think this is such a cool topic to research. You Are Here, edited by Ada Lamont. It is poetry in the natural world. Epigraph from Robin Wall Kimmerer saying, "The land is the real teacher." I love nature poetry. You know this very well because y'all know my obsession with Mary Oliver. Her poems are so good to me. It speaks to like the most unsaid parts of my soul. This is a collection of natural world poetry. Can't wait to read it. Kind of going off that same vein. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The Adventures of Amina Assarafi, Book 2. I'm not sure if we got a title reveal yet or a cover reveal yet because I'm not really on social media. I just know that this comes out sometime in September. I want to say like September 25th, but I'm not too sure. And this is written by Shannon Chakraborty. This is about a retired pirate named Amina Assarafi, who is like, I think in her mid-40s. She now has a daughter, and she's coming out of retirement for one last hurrah, and she gets her crew back together. And this book is their adventure, their one last adventure together. But it's obviously not going to be their one last adventure together because we're getting a book 2. I love this book so much. It was so humorous. It was so summery. Cannot wait for book 2. Also, another release that I'm really excited for, Score by Kennedy Ryan. Book 2, To Real by Kennedy Ryan. My second favorite romance book of all time. My first favorite being Taking It Danny Brown. This book was just wonderful and amazing and show-stopping and stunning and just fantastic. Highly recommend this book. Again, the second book, this book follows Neva and Canon. The second book is Monk in Verity. If you read the book, I know you're gagged right now. I know you're clutching your pearls because the little cameos of them in this book, I was like... So yeah, Score by Kennedy Ryan, I need it so bad. I need it so bad. Kennedy, if you're watching this video. Question is, new favorite author, which for me, I think it's gonna have to be Abby Collette. I read Body and Soul Food by her at the beginning of this year, and maybe it's too early to tell because that was literally the only book I've read from her so far, but I liked that book enough to where I went to the library and checked out the rest of her backlist. I checked out the entire Ice Cream Parlor mystery series. The first book to the series is A Deadly Inside Scoop. Then you have A Game of Cones and A Killer Sunday. I checked out that whole series. I'm currently reading the first book to that series, and I got the second book to Body and Soul Food, Soul of a Killer. All of her books are like cozy mysteries set in these kind of small towns with these characters that are kind of working really basic jobs. So the characters in the Ice Cream Parlor mystery series work at an ice cream parlor in Ohio. The characters in the Body and Soul Food series work at a bookstore and soul food cafe in Seattle. And I had such a deep obsession with Seattle when I was younger. All of her books are just so cozy. They are genuinely like my type of mystery. I don't like reading mystery very often because I'm very paranoid. Like if you watch any of my reading vlogs and I'm reading a mystery book, you'll see me continuously looking behind myself, sleeping with the light on. I just don't like any book that's making me anxious in real life. So her books are just the perfect balance of a good mystery book, but also so cozy and casual and calm. I love them, and I can't wait to read the rest of her books this summer. The next question is most beautiful book that you've bought this year or received. First one for me is The Swifts by Beth Lincoln. This is a middle grade book. The cover, oh my god, I just love this art style first of all, but also sprayed edges and also illustrations within the book. Oh, it is gorgeous. And it smells so good, dude. I cannot wait to read this. This is on my July TBR. I cannot wait to read this book. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. But yeah, that's beautiful. And then the second most beautiful book that I've gotten this year, Hamilton girlies, I know you just clutched your pearls. I know you're gagged to no end right now. I literally just snatched your wig off because I found this book for free in a little library. Hamilton, The Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm obsessed with that man. I'm obsessed with that man. And not as much as I'm obsessed with Ryan Coogler, but a close second. For real. This book is like all of the behind the scenes of Hamilton. It has like, I'm gonna turn this way so you could kind of see me flipping through it. It has like behind the scenes photos, interviews, lyrics, annotated lyrics, photos from the musical, like the Broadway musical. Oh. And then there's also stuff like costume designs and pictures of the set. Like if you're a theater nerd, you would eat this book up for real. Screens of different dances. I found this and nearly fainted. Pictures from Lynn's journal. Just so much within this. And like I said, I'm somebody that's obsessed with creative people, that's obsessed with creation and creativity and passion. So to read a book like this and to find a book with something like Hamilton, which has so many layers to it and so much depth to it and like so much that went into the creation of it. Oh, I am so happy with life. Like I will never complain about anything ever again, actually, because I, in fact, know that I am God's favorite child. Hamilton as a musical is just so impressive. It's such an impressive musical. It's such a beautiful musical, and it's so audacious, and I love it so much. I love the musical. I love the soundtrack. So, next question is best book to movie / TV series adaptation you've watched. Dune. I read the entire book, the first and second book, this year, and I ended up watching the first and second movies. I didn't really like the second, but the first movie just added such an emphasis to the book to me. It made the book even better to me, which I don't find that a lot of adaptations do that anymore, where you watch the adaptation, you're like, actually, that book was really good. Like, just because they take so much out of adaptations, I enjoyed enough of the casting, and I genuinely yapped about this for some time on one of my vlogs, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But it just emphasized everything that this book was to me, and my reading experience while reading this book, I loved it. I loved how they developed the language of the Harkonnens and the Sardaukar and all of that within the movie. It was just so well done. The first movie, so well done to me. Didn't really like the second, but that's okay. And then the next question, which is also the last question. What books do you need to read before the end of the year? So I just pulled a couple off my shelf. Just books that I think I'm going to absolutely adore, that are kind of my priority TBR for the end of this year, the last 6 months of this year. So, this is the stack. Evil Roots, Killer Tales of the Botanical Gothic, edited by Daisy Butcher. This during Halloween, October spooky season time. Some meat hungry flora, some strangling vines, unruly gardens. New and selected poems by Mary Oliver. Dreamwork was my favorite book of last year, so I'm very excited to get to this collection and to read some more from her. The Complete Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah, my toxic trait is whenever somebody in real life tells me, oh, I really like this book, or this is my favorite book, I immediately go buy the book. So I'm like, we gotta see if they know what they're talking about. And somebody in real life told me that they love Sherlock Holmes, and I'm like, we'll see. This is the big tome that was on the stack. 850 pages long. I know I'm going to be fiending for some mystery come autumn. So I'm probably going to like devour this collection during the fall time. I don't want to get any crazy looks when I show you the next book, okay? I know. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I need to read it. Like, I don't know why I keep putting off this book. Another book that just smells heavenly. This is one that I really need to get to. I just need to decide to lock 1 month and genuinely read this book. Then we have 2 Robin Wall Kimmerer books, Gathering Moss and Braiding Sweetgrass. From what I know of Robin Wall Kimmerer, she writes a lot about ethnobotany and indigenous beliefs and indigenous systems of agriculture and taking care of the earth while also using the earth to take care of you. I need to get into her. I know her writing is going to change my life. And then last but not least, another one that I constantly say I must read, Wilding by Isabella Tree. These are my priority TBR books. I need to read them. I don't care if I literally only read just those books. I must read them. That was my mid-year reading wrap-up, mid-year book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found something new to read from this video. I hope you got a further peek into my reading life. And honestly, I'm more interested in yours than mine. So comment below some of your answers to some of these questions. Let me know what was your favorite book of the year so far. What you plan on reading for the rest of the year. I'm dying to know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye.